Let's now hear from our Minister of Culture, Mrs. Cheryl Gallagher, and then we will go back to information and communications. Cheryl is as guard as many people here, started in the parliament as a chairperson of the Culture Committee. She is an established award-winning professional as a musician and an artist. She is a voting member of the Recording Academy, the Grammys, and a successful entrepreneur for the United States of America. She is the president of the Gracie G Productions in Austin, Texas, and she is a registered business on Asgardia.trade, one of the first businesses to be registered. She's a professional composer, musician, and a producer and a recording artist. And particularly, I would encourage everyone to read the upcoming issue of Room, which is going into print next week. Cheryl has written a big article about her views about culture and space. So this will be a very special sharing for all of you. I read it with a great interest as I have a privilege to see the print before it's getting released. So Cheryl, please go ahead. I know your presentation will be so much more colorful and attractive than the rest of us. So we just learn to live with this and be proud of how you do yours. You're on mute, please unmute yourself, Cheryl.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister, for your generous comments. Greetings to you and all my colleagues, residents, and friends of Asgardia. And with a special congratulations to Dr. Asher Bailey on his recent reinauguration. I am going to start my presentation with a little fast-paced overview video to start with, and what I'll do is we'll show it again at the end, and it'll make sense. So Marilee, if you'll proceed. So at the beginning of that little video, it starts with, I don't need it to be easy. I need it to be worth it. What we're trying to do here collectively in the space community, as well as here in Asgardia, is not at all easy. But we are here today because we feel so strongly that what we're about is worth it and so important to the future of humankind. Thank you all for being here, everybody who's watching, anybody who's ever going to watch this. And thank you all for your care and your service to humanity. As you can tell, the year 0006, terrestrial year 2022, has been a busy, dynamic, and productive year in the tiny but mighty Asgardian Ministry of Culture. At the same time, recent years, in fact, they've been arguably some of the most challenging in modern human history. This has provided Asgardia as an organization with enormous challenges, but also has offered great opportunities whose strengths I have tried to optimize as Minister of Culture. Since what I do is an ongoing and cumulative process, for context, this report is an annual summary of ministry activities. So in 0006, as minister, I've mainly focused on growing collaborative relationships, improving communication, and integrative activities within the broader Western-oriented, space-based NGO community, as well as participating in events and activities to inform Asgardians and the general public about our project. Likewise, I've spent considerable time this year learning and immersing in the fast-paced, technologically advanced, and highly disruptive Web3 world. When we're looking at those positive relationship building activities, but obviously you can see that I've been attending things. There's a list of events and meetings that I've either attended or participated in, a lot of presentations this year. I've offered several radio and print interviews this year. It's talking about Asgardia as well as cultural development topics. And I've also reached out and provided goodwill media support, creative content to various space organizations whose activities, whose mission and their values are very in alignment with our Asgardian values. Last March, I hosted space industry representatives during the South by Southwest Tech Week here in Austin, Texas. That was very fruitful. I acted as assistant producer of the Overview Effect Film Festival, produced content for Foundation for the Future, and did a lot of consulting for space-based initiatives relative to Asgardia's overall mission and goals, as well as working with some of our more closely associated organizations like Spaceborne United. And of course, you can see a lot of networking going on. I'd like to publicly thank Minister Roselle again for introducing me to the Overview Roundtable's community think tank of space professionals, supporting the overall mission of successful, prosperous, and peaceful settlement in space. Alongside Minister Roselle and parliamentarian Dr. Brian Froelke, we presented our proofs of concept and mission to some of the most involved and influential people currently working in the space community. I can proudly report that these collaborative efforts have been increasingly noticed and appreciated. We are now just one of 15 space station-based initiatives currently in active development, standing right alongside them as we develop our missions together, productively learning with and from each other in the process. Next slide, please. And I also completed this year the SpaceKind 6, meaning the 6th class certificate training program intended to grow personal self-awareness and development in a space-oriented context, as well as to focus the goals and definitions of individuals' projects' success through this training. I join an esteemed contingent of industry leaders by graduating thanks to this forward-thinking and visionary course of study. I've presented and created promotional content for a number of events over the course of the year, most of them live online on Asgardia TV, on Asgardia's YouTube channel, and or these organizations' channels if you'd ever care to see them. I was gratified to hear that people seem to understand our project and we're coming up in conversations in the context of our strengths and mission relevance. Our ministry's hosted webinars have been very helpful this way, whether it's been on topics of space law, trade, governance, science, security, and culture. For example, in the culture realm, when I was approaching space art NFT programs, I was told that when one platform was looking for potential participants, someone suggested, "Have you checked with Asgardia? They have some great space artists there." To me, of course, that's exactly what we want as an organization. We want people to think of us, to consult our experts, to interact and collaborate with us. Another example I can think of came up during the most recent education seminar hosted by Minister Profir, in which growing awareness of our mission in the space civilization development, humanities, and positive human evolution in space, as well as our approach to the topic of birthing, raising, and educating healthy children in the space environment are increasingly compelling and highly relevant. Next slide, please. Other significant activities this year have been to start living into the fast developing Web3 environment, observing and studying blockchain and cryptocurrencies, trends, and technologies. As you know, if you've been following the news, also previously commented, this is an active and highly volatile environment, very complex and with many competing dynamics involved. Another area where socioeconomic, legal, and financial institutions are having to adapt and take action as paradigms of economic structures shift and develop into a new global quantum-powered financial structure. I continue this work and research going forward, also as an active business, as Prime Minister mentioned, of part of the business environment being spearheaded by the Ministry of Trade and Commerce. I'm happy to report that I've established NFT accounts in both OpenSea and was the first sale on Copernic Space's new Spaceable Space Art platform. Now I've sold 5 or 6 places there, and this has helped me learn and apply how to navigate and perform inside this emerging dynamic new economic and cultural environment. It's a extremely steep learning curve, not only because of the technologies involved, but because this newest generation of human beings who were raised completely with advanced technologies are developing the future using entirely different and unique perspectives in their efforts, approaching new challenges with virtually no attachment to the ways things have been done in the past. And I'm talking in some of the most basic sense. It's very disorienting for those of us that are trying to catch up. Along with other paradigm shifts in the modern world, this has proven to be both very exciting and accelerating, but also very unsettling while disruptive innovations take place, setting up conflicts, misunderstandings, great successes, and great failures in equal measure as these conflicts, misunderstandings, and things play out. This is all a natural part of the process, made more intense by the rapid push-pull of the future and past as momentum and progress grow exponentially. Next slide, please. From the perspective of the Ministry of Culture, this dynamic highlights the importance and the role of positive human cultural development and evolution in space, including the article that the Prime Minister so kindly mentioned in the upcoming issue of Room Magazine, which of course I'm super happy about that. In it, I offer a balanced reflection on the possibilities and opportunities for a truly enlightened and progressed reality that approaches the lofty and altruistic ideals reflected in Asgardia's mission. It's a very approachable article, and I'll look forward to your feedback when the article comes out. Other notables this year, next slide, please. Yes. Okay. Other notables this year is that I was accepted as a journeyman into the International Association of Astronomical Artists, joining some of the most well-known and respected space artists in history. I'm most honored. I have some artistic requirements to complete to become a full fellow in that organization, and so I'm making progress on that. Also, I've received another certificate of merit from the jury of the Luxembourg Art Prize for the 4th year in a row. I used to think that these certificates were recognizing solely my participation in the competition, but the jury made a specific point this year in pointing out that these are not participation certificates, but are reserved as an acknowledgement to some artists of the high quality of their submitted works, an honorary mention, so to speak. So this year I included some of my 3D fractal and space artworks in my submissions that many here may have seen over the course of the past couple of years. And I'm honored and deeply appreciative of the lab jury's ongoing support. Next slide, please. As we head into 0007, I anticipate actively participating in similar activities and projects going forward as opportunities arise and continuing the development of projects currently underway. Reflecting on some of the head of nation's comments during his recent inaugural address, I agree about the importance of fully embracing newly developing technologies, along with including and integrating the new generations currently innovating into Asgardia in a more direct and substantial way. They are, by definition, humanity's future and are key to continuing a successful trajectory to our mission's full achievement as the space industry continues to rapidly develop and expand. Engaging and investing in this enthusiastically involved, committed, and positive space community is absolutely critical. Their opinions and points of view heard, mutually respected, and acted upon in timely fashion as warranted. Intensive education, tenacity, resilience, extraordinary care, patience, respect, and mutual trust will be required to ride the wave of the future successfully, as we in Asgardia are uniquely positioned to lead in these respects if we are willing and so choose. Last slide, please. That's a wrap for 0006. I look forward to 0007 with anticipation and appreciate your kind attention today. Marilee, can you please cue up that little video again now that we know what it's about?